Good day to everyone.
Now we'll move on to the next type of testing, that is regression testing. Whenever the development team they give the build to the testing team to test it, there are chances that they would have fixed some bugs or they would have made some changes. These changes it might impact the unchanged features. So testing the unchanged features to make sure that it is not broken because of the changes, this type of testing it is called as regression testing. Regression testing it can also be defined as re-execution of same test cases in different builds or releases to make sure that the changes are not introducing the defects in unchanged features. Now we'll see how this regression testing works. Whenever we want to develop an application, it cannot be developed in a single day. It will have some systematic procedure or a way. Now let's see an example for regression testing. Now let us assume that one of our customer he wants an e-commerce application and he wants it in 3 months. Now as a development team they'll start developing the product from the day one itself. Now the testing team will start writing the test cases based on the requirement. Now let us assume that we have written a 500 test cases. Now the development team they will start sending the build for testing. As a test engineer, we'll start testing the application by executing the test cases. We will start testing each and every feature of the application now. We'll see the login button whether it is working fine or not, then username and password, and next we'll see add to cart button whether it is working or not. Like this, we'll start testing the each and every feature of the application. Since we get the application in the build-wise, we'll start testing the application build-wise. We'll start it and we'll start testing the build one. We'll identify some of the defects and we'll report it back to the developer. The developer he will fix it and he will give the build 2, and the same process will continue until the last build. Suppose we have build 25 is the last, then the same process will continue till build 25. By the time we test the last build, the deadline would have arrived, and we would have tested all the builds by executing all the test cases, and the software it will be ready to be released to the production environment, and the customer will do one round of acceptance testing here, and then he will release it to the market. Now the customer will say he need to add some more features in the release 2, so we'll take another 3 months of time for release 2. In this release 2, we will be adding some more features given by the customer, and also we will be fixing some of the old defects that need to be fixed. Since we have received new requirements from the customer, as a test engineer we will start writing some more test cases for these new features. Now let us assume that we are writing another 200 test cases. Now totally we have 500 test cases which were written previously, and plus the 200 test cases which we are writing now. So totally we have 700 test cases. Now the development team they will send the build for testing, that is build 1, build 2, build 3, like this. Now as a test engineer we'll start testing the application by executing the test cases. Here we will be executing the previous test cases also, because chances are there that the developing of new features would have affected the old features also. In order to confirm that, we will be re-executing the old test cases. Even though we had executed all the test cases in the release 1, again in release 2 we will be executing new test cases along with the old test cases. Then we will release the software to the customer in the release 2. After release 2, the customer will come back to us saying that he wants to delete some features in the application. Now we'll take another 2 months time to execute the changes. Now since the customer has asked to remove one of the feature for which we had written around 50 test cases, we are now left with the 650 test cases. Now we'll do the modification or remove the feature which is asked by the customer, and we'll start executing the test cases. Here we'll start executing 650 test cases, because in the release 1 we had written 500 test cases, and for second release we had written 200 test cases, out of which we are removing 50 test cases which we had written for one of the feature which the customer has asked us to remove it. Now, after testing all the features of the application or all the builds of the application by executing all the test cases, and when we feel that the application is stable, then we will arrange to release the software to the customer. This is how the regression testing is done. Here you might have observed that we were re-executing the same test cases in different releases to make sure that the changes which we have introduced, it is not affecting the unchanged features. Thank you for watching our video. Please do not forget to subscribe to our channel so that you do not miss any of our video or updates. Thank you.